Assalamu alaikum class 9 students. But as you know, we have started chapter number 8, nutrition. And in previous lecture, we had discussed the definition of nutrition, nutrients. And then we discussed that how plants make food and which things are important for them. And we discussed the role of nitrogen and role of magnesium in the body of a plant. And then we discussed that fertilizers play very important role in the life of a plant cycle. Okay, now today we will discuss the components of human food. As we all of know that food work as a fuel for the body. Okay, so our body needs different types of components. Okay, so what are these things we will discuss in our today's lecture. So you can see the screen. The nutritional requirements of human and other animals are relatively complex as compared to plants. This is true that we all of know that all plants make their food with the help of photosynthesis. Okay, but the food processes in animals and humans that is different from plants. So what is the difference? Like other animals, the nutrients used by humans include carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acids, proteins, minerals, vitamins. Besides these nutrients, they also require water. Okay, if we see okay, like other animals, humans also require these things, and these are carbohydrates. Our body needs carbohydrates, lipids, nucleic acids, proteins, minerals, vitamins, and also we need a plenty of water. So these are very important components of human food. Now we will discuss in detail what is the detail of these components. If you see the screen, first of all, here is given carbohydrates. You all of know carbohydrates are very important component of human food. So carbohydrates are the basic source of energy for all animals. Mostly animals get energy from carbohydrates. So carbohydrates is very important for animal and human food. About half to 2 by 3 of the total calories every animal consumes daily are from carbohydrates. About half and 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 two-third part of the total food they get the calories. Calories means we measure the energy in the form of calories. As we know, when we want to measure temperature, we use the scale Fahrenheit and centigrade. So like this, when we want to measure energy level inside the body, we use a unit which is called calories. Okay, so about half of our food and the two-third part of our food consist of carbohydrates. So animals and humans consume daily energy from carbohydrate. They get calories from carbohydrates. And glucose is the most often used carbohydrate for energy. Yes, carbohydrate, the main component of carbohydrate food is glucose. It is most often used carbohydrate energy. Other useful carbohydrates are you have to underline in your book. These things are important for your MCQs. Glucose is the most carbohydrate for energy, and other useful carbohydrates we can find them in citrus fruit, lactose. We can find into dairy products, and sucrose we can find into sugary food and starch. So these are other important carbohydrates which our body get in different forms of food. Okay, so carbohydrates contain 4 kilocalories per gram. Underline in your book. This is very important for your MCQ. Okay, how much kilocalories we get from carbohydrates? We get 4 kilocalories per gram from carbohydrates. So humans get carbohydrates from the food like bread. We can find bread, and bread has a lot of starch in them. Pastas, okay, they also have sucrose in them. Beans, they have maltose in them. Potatoes, they also have starch in them. Brown, they have lactose in them, and cereals and different cereals. So these are the sources of carbohydrates. If this question comes in your board exam, what are the sources, or how do we get carbohydrate, what are the sources of carbohydrates? So what are the sources? We can get carbohydrates from bread, we can get from pastas, we can get from beans, we can get from potatoes, we can get from bran and rice and different cereals. Okay, now look at the side box. Carbohydrates are the most common source of energy. Underline in your book, the most common source of energy of our food is carbohydrates. And proteins and lipids are vital building components for body. Proteins and lipids help to make body cells in our body. That's why they are called vital building components. Vital means important building components for body, but they can also be used for energy. And we can also get energy from them. So what are carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are the most common source of energy. So we get proteins and lipids. Proteins and lipids are also very important, but they make building blocks. Building blocks mean they make cells. They help in the formation of cells. We all of know proteins and lipids are important for the growth of a body. So they help, but carbohydrates are the most common source of energy because they get energy to our body. Our body get energy, and our body can become warm, and we can do many activities with the help of carbohydrates. So they are very important for our body, but they can also be used for energy. Now come to next component, that is the lipids. The things which I am telling you have to underline in your book. These are lipids. Next component is lipids. What are lipids? This is very important. Okay. First of all, lipids present in food are components of fatty acids bonded to glycerol. First of all, where do we can find it? We can find lipids present in food are composed of fatty acid bonded to glycerol. So this is the uh, formation of lipids. If they are composed of, means they are made of fatty acid bonded to glycerol. The fatty acids of lipids may be saturated or unsaturated. So lipids can be divided. So lipids can be divided. Um, so types of fatty acids. So fatty acid. What are lipids? Lipids are made by fatty acids bonded to glycerol. So fatty acids further divided into two types: saturated fatty acid or unsaturated fatty acid. So what is the difference between two? This is also very important as a short question. Differentiate between saturated fatty acid and unsaturated fatty acid. So first we will discuss the saturated fatty acid. Okay, what are these? Saturated fatty acids have all of their carbon atoms bonded to hydrogen atoms. Saturated fatty acids have all of their carbon atoms bonded to hydrogen atoms. But what are unsaturated? They are opposite to saturated. Unsaturated fatty acids have some of their. Above the definition, you can see all of their carbon atoms. What is the difference between two? Have some of their carbon atoms. Okay. Bonded to hydrogen atoms. Here it is double bonded in place of a hydrogen atom. So what is the difference between their definitions? First is that saturated, all of their carbon atoms. In unsaturated fatty acid has some of their carbon atoms. Second difference is that saturated bonded to hydrogen atoms. Unsaturated double bonded in place of a hydrogen atoms. So this is the difference between two. So you have to observe the definition carefully. After that, now we will discuss their example. Lipids containing saturated fatty acids are solid at room temperature. Lipids containing lipids containing The lipids containing saturated fatty acids are solid at room temperature. So we are discussing lipids are made by fatty acids bonded to glycerol. Fatty acids further divided into saturated or unsaturated. So the lipids which contain saturated fatty acid is solid at room temperature. Lipids containing saturated fatty acids are solid at room temperature. Okay, now second one, unsaturated. The lipids containing unsaturated fatty acids are liquid at room temperature. Okay, so now we will discuss their examples. Okay, what are saturated fatty acids? So example of saturated acid is, for example, butter contains nearly 70% saturated and 30% unsaturated fatty acid. So it is an example of saturated fatty acids. Now this is an example of unsaturated. On the other hand, sunflower oil, which we use for our cooking, okay, contains nearly 75% unsaturated fatty acid. And we can also say that if we put butter at a room temperature, it remains solid. It will take time to melt. And if we see sunflower oil or any type of oil which we use for cooking, when we put into a very hot temperature in kitchen, it remains liquid. And if there is very cold in winter, it remains liquid. So if anyone asks you, if in board exam the question comes, okay, what is the difference between saturated fatty acid and unsaturated fatty acid? So first you will write the definition of saturated fatty acids have all of their carbon atoms bonded to hydrogen atom. This is first point. Second point is that lipids containing saturated fatty acids are liquid at room temperature. Okay. Then you give the heading of example and write, for example, butter contains nearly 70% saturated and 30% unsaturated fatty acids. Now, and because you are doing differentiation, so in other column you will give the heading of unsaturated fatty acid. So first you will write unsaturated fatty acid has some of their carbon atoms double bonded in place of a hydrogen atom. And the second you will write here, the lipids containing unsaturated fatty acids are liquid at room temperature. Then you give the heading of example, and then you will write sunflower oil contains nearly 75% unsaturated fatty acid. I hope you understand it. So what is the difference between two? Okay, now we will come to the next point, which is given in your book. Okay, now we will discuss the sources, its energy, and its function. So first we will discuss these are the function of lipids. Okay, functions of lipids. How do they perform in the body? So lipids are, these are the functions of lipids. You can give the heading in your book, lipid functions of lipids. Lipids are used to form membranes. Okay, we all of know in chapter number 4 we had discussed that different organelles are present in our cell, and they and some are a single bounded membrane and some have double bounded membrane. So lipids are used to form membranes. Okay, the sheets surrounding neurons. You didn't know this term. I will tell you, will discuss this term in your class 10 book. Okay, neuron, actually we all have a nervous system, and the functional and structural unit of nervous system is neurons. Neurons are those which take message from our brain and spinal cord and take to the relevant organ of our body. Okay, so if you see something is very hot, you go to near the fire and immediately you pull your hand. How this action is happened? This action is happened because of neurons present in your nervous system. Okay, so these, if we discuss the structure of neuron, it consists of axons and cell body. Okay, so the axons which take message, which help the neurons to take away message from spinal cord to relevant organ, they are covered by a sheet. Sheet means a covering. Okay, so the sheet surrounding neurons. Okay, so the covering which made around the neurons, it is also made by with lipids. Because now I am telling you that how these foods are very important for us. So why they are important for us? Because lipids are used to form membranes. I have told you our all organelles have thin cell membrane around. Some have single cell membrane and some have double cell membrane. So lipids help to make cell membrane, and the sheets surrounding neurons. Neuron is a functional unit of nervous system, and the covering of the neuron is made by lipids and certain hormones and different hormones. You also, if you keep in your mind, in our body we have different systems in our body, like digestive system, nervous system, circulatory system, breathing system, renal system. So like that we have another system which is called endocrine system. Endocrine system consists of different type of glands, okay, and these glands are located in different areas of our body, and these all glands produce some special liquids into our blood which control different situations. So the lipids produced by glands, they are called hormones. So I hope you understand it. Okay, lipids are used to form, they are doing three important functions. First, to form cell membrane. Second, to make sheets surrounding neurons. And third, and certain hormones. And they help to produce certain hormones. And in detail, we will discuss hormones in class 10 book. Okay, and lipids are also extremely useful energy sources. Yes, they are very extremely useful, and 1 gram of lipids contain 9 kilocalories. 1 gram of lipids contain 9 kilocalories of energy. Underline in your book. This is very, very important for your MCQs. Carbohydrates are required only 4 kilocalories of energy, but lipids are required our body 9 kilocalories. Okay, so if we use 1 gram of lipids, actually we are taking 9 kilocalories of energy. If you often observe different things which you get from the market for your eating, if you see their boxes, you can see on the box this detail is written that proteins are 2 kilocalories, the fats are how much fat are present in them, how much carbohydrates are present. So if we use 1 gram of lipid, it means it is producing 9 kilocalories of energy inside our body. So this is also very important. Okay, this is the energy level of lipids. And now we will discuss the sources of important sources of lipids. If you want to learn this paragraph, okay, I will explain to you later. Important sources of lipids. What are they? Include milk, butter, cheese, eggs, mutton, fish, mustard seeds, coconut, and dry fruits. Okay, so these are the big sources of your lipids. Now we will see the side box. Saturated fatty acid can increase a person's cholesterol level. We all of know what is a cholesterol level. Uh, Many students do not know about the cholesterol level, but we often listen these things at our home. But somebody said that my cholesterol level is going to be high. How it becomes high? We all of know kidneys work as excretory system of our body. They filter the blood and they taken out kidneys taken out wasted materials from our blood. So when these materials are not taken by our are not taken by our kidney properly, then they go back to our blood, and because of that our blood contains different unwasted materials inside it. So because of that, the blood become viscous and many infections can be happen inside the body. So that is called cholesterol level. So an increased cholesterol level may eventually result in the clogging of arteries. Clogging means closing of arteries. Arteries, you all of know, in our body we have three types of vessels. Vessels means blood tubes inside our body. Three types of vessels. One are called arteries, one other are called veins, and the third one are called capillaries. So first, arteries. When an artery enter into an organ, it further divided into small tubes. These are called capillaries. And the function of artery is that they collect blood from the heart and take to the relevant organ. And the function of the vein is that if excess blood goes in any organ, it collects extra blood and back to the heart. So they work opposite to each other, and capillaries are present each and every organ. Okay, when an artery which is connected to main aorta when entering any organ. For example, it is entering into a stomach. So what will be when it enters into a stomach, it further divided into small blood vessels, which are called capillary, which provide each and every cell of the stomach to give them blood. So increase in cholesterol level, it can cause of clogging of arteries. Closing of artery, it means the blood becomes thick and our arteries are very narrow, so blood will not flow easily in them. And ultimately heart disease. Definitely increasing in cholesterol level is connected to heart diseases. Okay, so this is saturated fatty acids. So this is the drawback of saturated fatty acids. We had discussed in the example the saturated fatty acid example of butter. If you are taking in everything which we have to need in proper amount, but if we take anything in excess amount, it can cause of different diseases. So if you increase the increase the amount of saturated fatty acid in your body, it can cause of increase person's cholesterol level, and because of that, what will be happen? Clogging of arteries and ultimately heart diseases. And we all of know that if there is slow movement of blood in the arteries, and if your arteries are blocked, it can harden because our heart always needs blood, oxygenated blood. So this whole process can be disturbed. Now I would like to explain to many things are explained in the lipids. Okay, and this can also comes in your exams as a long question. Okay, now I will tell you how do you learn it. Okay, first you will learn the definition of lipids. Okay, how are they made? They are made by fatty acid bonded to glycerol. This is your first point. Second is that fatty acids divided into two parts. Okay, so what are they types? They are saturated or unsaturated. Then you will make a column. Okay, and then you in first side you will write give the heading saturated fatty acid, and the other column you will give the heading of unsaturated fatty acid. So saturated fatty acid, you will write the definition, have all of the carbon atoms bonding to hydrogen atom. Second point, you will write here the lipids containing saturated fatty acids are called at are solid at room temperature. Second point. And third point, for example, butter contains, give the heading of example, and then write nearly 70% saturated and 30% saturated fatty acid. This is first column. In the second column, you give the heading of unsaturated fatty acids. First bullet you will make have some of the carbon atom double bonded in place of a hydrogen atom. Then you will write that lipids containing unsaturated fatty acids are liquid at room temperature. Then you give the heading of example, sunflower oil contains nearly 75% unsaturated fatty acid. Okay, so till acids. Your 2 points are clear. Introduction of lipids and the difference between saturated and unsaturated fatty. Then your third heading will be okay, what are the functions of lipids? Okay, the functions of lipids are formation of cell membrane, the sheet surrounding neurons, and certain hormones. Okay, and and you can see the lipids are also extreme. Okay, these are the three functions. Now this topic is ended. Then you come to next, its energy level. So 1 gram of lipids contain 9 kilocalories of energy. Then you will learn the sources. What are the sources? Important sources can include milk, butter, cheese, eggs, mutton, fish, uh, um, roasted, okay, mustard seeds, coconut, and dry fruit, etc. So how many headings you can make? First, definition of lipids, then difference between saturated acids and saturated fatty acid and unsaturated fatty acids. Third heading is your uh, functions of lipids. Fourth is its energy level. 1 gram of lipids contain 9 kilocalories of energy level. And then the fifth point is sources of lipids. I am telling you these points in order. Why? This is very important because it is written in a paragraph. So this is very, very difficult for you to learn it. So if you make the points, 5 points are important in this paragraph, and if you write in your register in order, then this is very easy for you to learn it. Okay. And this is an example that if a saturated fatty acid can increase, this is a drawback of saturated, so it can increase of cholesterol level, and because of then there will be clogging of arteries, and ultimately it can cause of heart diseases. I hope you understand the lipids. Okay, now come to proteins. This is our next component of human food. Proteins. First of all, we all of know proteins are very important for our body, and they are called build, and they help in building blocks of our body. So what are building blocks of our body? They are our cells. Okay. Now we'll discuss proteins in a detail. Okay, what are these proteins? We will see proteins. Okay, Betty, look at the screen. Proteins. Proteins are composed of amino acids. Okay, proteins are essential components of the cytoplasm, membranes, and organelles. So I have told you because they help in building block. It means it helps to make uh, the formation of cell. So you can see proteins are composed of amino acids. I have told you we get proteins in the form of different food. When they goes in, there is a protease enzyme which break down proteins into amino acids. So proteins are important, essential, important component of the cytoplasm. Okay, you all of know cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance which is present inside the cells. Okay, and many organelles stored inside the membranes. We all of know okay, if it is an animal cell, its outer covering is made by thin membrane which is called cell membrane. And if we talk about plant cell, the outer covering of plant cell is made by cellulose, a chemical which makes cell wall, and inside there is a membrane and organelles. And we also have discussed in chapter number 4 in very detail that inside the cell there are many organelles. For example, they have mitochondria, they have ribosome, they have Golgi operators, they have lysosomes, they have centrioles, and many other organelles. So proteins help to make organelles, okay, to make membranes and to make cytoplasm. So actually when these three things are combined, actually it makes the structure of a cell. So that's why proteins are called the building blocks for life. Okay, so they are also the major components of muscles, ligaments, and tendons. Okay, you all of know about the muscle, but ligaments and tendons are new word for you. They also the major components of your muscle. Definitely, our body move with the help of our skeleton, and our skeleton, our framework of bones inside the body connected with muscles. As we can turn our as we can turn our hand, as we can twist our elbows. So these all are connected with muscles and ligaments. Ligaments and tendon. Ligaments are soft bones and tendons are strong muscles. These are soft muscles and these are strong muscles. So these both are important for our body movement. So these are attached with our bones. Okay. So proteins help, and we all of know we know this thing that always our elders say us we have to take milk. Why we have to take milk? Because it helps in our growth. It makes our bones strong. So proteins give strength to our muscles, ligaments, and tendons. Okay, so we use proteins for growth. So this is the summary of this whole paragraph. Proteins help us in growth. Many proteins play a role as enzymes. Proteins can also be used for gaining energy. Definitely, we get energy with the help of proteins. With the help of proteins, okay, with the help of proteins, and 1 gram of proteins, this is also important for your MCQ, contains 4 kilocalories of energy. Carbohydrates give us 4 kilocalories, proteins give us 4 kilocalories, and lipids give us 9 kilocalories. Okay, you have to make table on your page for your learning, because this is very important for you. Okay, and these also ask question as MCQs in your exam. So dietary sources of proteins are, so how do we get the proteins? We can get proteins from meat, red meat, eggs, grains, legumes, uh, Legumes means pea and grains and dairy products such as milk and cheese, and the things which are made by milk and cheese, all dairy products which they give us proteins. So proteins are very important for our body. And now you will see the side box given in your book. Proteins can be converted into carbohydrates. Okay, proteins are because they give us energy and they are called building blocks, and carbohydrates are the most common source of energy. They also give energy. So proteins can be converted into carbohydrates. Okay, when proteins properly synthesized in the body, ultimately they can convert in the carbohydrates. So this is your today we have discussed three components of human food. First we have discussed carbohydrates, second we have discussed lipids, and third we have discussed protein. So these are very important. I hope you understand it. Now your lecture has been ended. If you have any confusion, if you want to ask any question, please raise your hand. Thank you so much.